Gun, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Double honors to the other apostles of great Millstone who teach and rule well, and Shalom to the sincere Akim, furnish truth and sincerity. Shalom. This video, I want to make a reaction towards the video of other Apostle Gabar, video that he just posted, which is, called Yes, It's Official. Sacari's endorsement of having sex in the Shabbat. So other Apostle Gabar was going into how they were never really up to date whether Sacari was teaching that you could have sex in the Shabbat, and in the video the other Apostle Gabar made, they themselves are going into it that you can have sex in the Shabbat, which that's something that we're actually not supposed to have. But which these other groups such as IUIC and now also Sacari, is bringing out that you can have that on the Shabbat. But scriptures clearly, explain us, with the precepts and with the right understanding that we're not supposed to have sex in the Shabbat, but to keep it holy, which means separated, separate your own pleasure from, the things pertaining to Yahawashi on the Shabbat. Of course, in this day and age, we're trying to do those things to the best of our abilities because, being under oppressors, we have to go to work. We're coming in contact with music being played all around us, etc., etc., etc. So, without further ado, I want to go to Psalms chapter 119, verse 104. And it says, "Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I had every false way." So, just like other Apostle Gabar went into, Exodus chapter 20 and Exodus chapter 19, I want to go over those chapters as well and bring a little bit more information, to cover a different angle of how to approach, that sex in the Shabbat is actually not something that we're supposed to do. So this is Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, which says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." So this is something that the Most High commanded, Moses to speak unto us, which these are the 10 commandments that were given unto our forefathers, you see. So we need to keep that holy. And if we go to Exodus chapter 19, it gives a great example of, when the Most High came to speak towards us, in by himself, without Moses being an intercessor, being the spokesman between the Heavenly Father and us. The Most High, when before he came, he told Moses to sanctify the people, and part of the sanctification, was to refrain from our wives. So this is Exodus chapter 19 and verse 10. "And the Lord Yahawah said unto Moses, Go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes." So the Most High told Moses that he was supposed to sanctify the people. Which, if we go to the word sanctify in the etymology, it says sanctifin, to consecrate, set apart for sacred use, to render holy or legitimate by religious sanction, to make holy, from sanctus holy. So this is what the Most High commanded Moses that we should do. And after that, he gave us a couple of things that we had to do to make us holy. We had to wash our clothes. Reading on verse 11 says, "And be ready against the third day. For the third day, the Lord Yahawah will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai." Because the Most High was about to to show himself towards us, because we were complaining like, hey, we want the Most High to speak directly with us, which later on we regretted, because when he came, there came nothing but thunders and lightnings, and we were really afraid. Then we was like, no, let Moses speak to us again. We want Moses. Verse 12, "And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, Take heed to yourselves, that ye go not up unto the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever touch the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through, whether they be beast or man. they shall not live. When the trumpet sounded long, they shall come up to the mount. And Moses went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. You see, so the point is verse 15, but I'm going to read verse 14 again. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day, come not at your wives. So part of that sanctification, of the part of making us holy during that time, to be ready for the appearance of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, was not to lay down with our wives, because we know that, pursuant to the scriptures, that having sex makes you unclean. You see, and that's also something that we're not supposed to be on the Shabbat. We're not supposed to be unclean on the Shabbat, which that makes us, you know, uh, um, basically, other term, not holy. You know, so this was, what Elder Apostle Gabor went into. How the Shabbat, supposed to be kept holy, and that Moses, commanded our people before the appearance of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi to not come at our wives, because that will make us unclean, and then we would not be sanctified, being made holy, by the time that the Most High would make his appearance. And the other angle that I want to go into, is Isaiah 58 concerning keeping the Shabbat. It says, Isaiah 58 and 13, If thou turn away thy foot from the Shabbat, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Shabbat a delight, the holy of the Lord Yahawah, honorable, and should honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words. So if we're able to refrain ourselves, and not pursue the things that we want to do ourselves, our lusts and our pleasures on the Shabbat, but enjoy the Shabbat as it's supposed to be enjoyed, dedicated to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, occupy ourselves in scriptures, meditation, meditating about, the laws of the commandments, the scriptures, you know, um, making videos, studying, reading, putting up prayers, and not doing our own ways, for instance, having sex in the Shabbat, listening to music, going to the gym to work out, you know, and if we're able to do that, if we're pursuing that and we're doing that, then what it says in verse 14 is the following: Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord Yahawah, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord Yahawah had spoken. So if we're doing that, refraining ourselves from doing our own pleasures and keeping the day holy, dedicated to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and enjoy the Shabbat as supposed to be enjoyed, then the Most High is going to honor us and exalt us, and then we're going to enjoy the inheritance that was given unto our forefather Jacob. And the other point that I want to bring out a little bit more specific is the fact that Isaiah 58 and verse 13 says, if that turn away the fruit from the Shabbat, so like from doing that pleasure on my holy day. So what is sex? Sex is pleasure, So this is an article on healthline.com, and I would only have to read the first paragraph, and then this paragraph would already end. But it says, why does sex feel good? Do you love to have sex? If you do, you're not alone. Scientists know that sex is a pleasurable experience for women. But how and why does it feel so good to have sex? And, we don't need no scientists to explain this to us. We as men and women, or better said, females, we know that sex is pleasurable and feels good. Let me see. Why sex feels good to your brain? The brain is its own pleasure center during sex. Just being physically close with another human being is known to increase levels of oxytocin, the cuddle hormone, in the brain, making you feel happy and safe. Scientists know that certain parts of the brain are associated with pleasure, becoming more active after consuming food or drugs or having sex. When we have sex, the physical signals felt by the body send signals through our nerves to the brain, which reacts by releasing chemicals that makes us experience even more pleasure. So the act of having sex makes us unclean and it's also pleasurable. But the Most High said that we should not be doing our own pleasures on the Shabbat, but to keep it holy, dedicated towards Him. And if we're able to do that, then the Most High would honor us, exalt us, and then we would be able to enjoy, the inheritance given unto our forefather Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Some research suggests the rhythmic nature of sex and sexual stimulation creates a psychological loop of pleasure, where pleasure is being mentioned a lot in this article. And I'm only reading, basically one paragraph. As physical pleasure increases during the orgasm phase of sex, so does psychological pleasure. And more psychological pleasure increases physical pleasure. You see? So, bottom line, sex is pleasurable. As physical pleasure increases during the orgasm phase of sex, so does reading on. The research also suggests that the rhythm of sex. Okay. And this is 2 Timothy chapter 4 and 3. It says, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears." So the time is going to come that these other camps, going to be teaching things that is not associated with correct doctrine, meaning the truth. That's how the scriptures are supposed to be understood and taught. Which this is an example of not enduring sound doctrine concerning sex on the Shabbat. You see. But it also says, "But after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers." So there are people, followers of Hebrew Israelite camps that are gonna choose which camp to follow because of their own lusts. And the word lust in the etymology says desire, appetite, inclination, pleasure, sensuous appetite. You see? So we at Great Millstone, we teach you that certain things ought not to be done, whether it's having sex in the Shabbat, whether it's, not eating pork, whether it's, not wearing fringes, when you don't have to. For instance, wearing fringes outside of the camp, on your shirt or your t-shirts, etc. We teach you that those things, don't do it. But if there are people that are desirous and have a pleasure in doing those things, they're gonna, go with camps that teach that you're able to do such things and that it's allowed. You know, that's why it says, "But after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth." You see, so they're not going to listen to GMS no more. No, they're going to decide to do something else. They're going to decide to go off their lusts, and shall be turned into fables. And that's what I wanted to bring out. Concerning a different angle, concerning this topic. You know. So, Rawchaa, this lesson was edifying, and I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Double honors to the other apostles of Great Millstone, who teach and rule well, and shalom to the sincere Akim, spreading truth and sincerity. Shalom.